The Daily Show found this old NBC Nightly news clip where they spoke to citizens of this area in Michigan. And I think this is from the 80s, right? Or maybe, yeah, 1984. And they are speaking to them about an ordinance about wearing seatbelts. And see if you can tell how much this echoes what we're hearing today about masks and vaccines, for that matter.
It is a new seatbelt ordinance. If the town council gets its way, seatbelts will be mandatory for everybody riding in the front seat of a car through Richland.
I'll have to detour the town to get to Kalamazoo. If they pass a seatbelt ordinance where I don't use a seatbelt.
I wouldn't wear my seatbelt. If I get caught, I guess.
Florida Highway Patrol Lieutenant Chris Miller hears it all when it comes to seatbelts.
I hear it's uncomfortable. It wrinkles my clothes. It's not cool.
There's no freedom no more. You don't want to wear it? That's your choice.
So we could have transplanted that and just taken out seatbelts and put masks, and it would be entirely the same as the conversation we're having today. It's uncomfortable. It's infringing on my freedom.
And I think, from my perspective, the point to stress here is not that people are stupid, but that there is, like COVID, there was a concerted effort to push denial about this from major conservative think tanks. Basically, you can still find it to this day. They talk about the case against seatbelts from a freedom perspective, and
as they in coordination with some of these auto manufacturers that didn't want to do this.
Exactly, of course, and so like I think it's sort of like how we mistake the lesson for the Third Reich as people got way too excited at rallies and followed a leader. It's what are those leaders actually doing to rile up this sort of sentiment? Because I know my grandma to this day, I don't know if to this day, but within like the past few years, like still has nightmares about getting in a car crash and being unable to get out of it because the seatbelt traps you in the car. And that is an explicit scenario that was peddled by these groups to scare people about seatbelts. So it
didn't happen to her. That's just from the propaganda.
Yeah, it never happened to her. She's never been in a serious car accident before, but she's worried about it because of basically that fear being put into the system by interest groups.
Yeah.
I think that's a deficiency that still exists to this day, where we kind of, when we're talking about public opinion, don't necessarily account for the vast propaganda campaigns that are out there shaping public opinion about everything from war to Supreme Court justices to any sort of consumer issue that we're dealing with at any point in time, because like it's almost taken for granted that companies have the right to engage in these kinds of practices. And so it's sort of just taken, okay, well, if 60% of people think that you shouldn't have to, I guess, recycle, and even if that's the result of like the trash, big trash or whatever, pushing that propaganda, they should only have right to know that the 60% of people believe this, as though it's just a natural belief that exists out there, and there's nothing that's contributing to its rise or its prevalence, rather.
Right. I mean, it goes to show that these kinds of patterns are nothing new, and it's like a bit of muscle memory when you can instill fear in people, that you can make it all about other things. You can expand the scope of it and make it, like the seatbelt thing, about this kind of like claustrophobia that we all have and this fear of being unable to get out of a situation. And that's what we've done with masks and vaccines. Vaccines are, you don't understand the science fully, so you can't know what's going into your body, and this could change you because we have fears about healthcare in this country. And with masks, you make it existential about freedom and control over your children, masking them. And so you expand the fear, and then it makes it a lot more personal and pernicious.
And you save a few years on regulations, and that's money in the bank.
And more tax cuts. And then Republicans have, a lot of it's astroturfed, but at least like the echo of grassroots support or the shadings of it. And then they're able to coast to elections, and now they control a significant majority of state houses in this country.
I will say that one guy at least was talking about driving around the town where the seatbelt ordinance was going to go into effect. Whereas nowadays, the anti-vaxxers would explicitly go in that town to hold whatever protest and try to fly in the face of the rules. So we did go get worse, I guess.
Yeah.
Well
done. Ben from Chicago, Obama voice. I tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter.
Folks, there's more of what you've just saw where that came from. That's if you hit the subscribe and like button. Thank you. Really, thank you.